Hello. Hi, you guys. Um, what a beautiful day. Beautiful day. Um, so this morning I just want to share a couple of things with you. Hi, Toby. This morning, hi, James. Just let me share a couple of things with you. We're doing something a little different too. Trevor's here, and he has the iPad. If you have thoughts, hi, honey, I miss you too. Really, like just come for hugs. Um, Trevor's here, and he has the iPad. And if you have questions or thoughts, just write them on this, and then he'll see them, and because sometimes I can't. Hi, Tracy, love you, girl. Um, so I just wanted to start this morning before I do the reading to talk about for a minute the things that we hang on to, and it's so subtle sometimes. Our beliefs and our ideas and you know, um, and let's imagine. I have an example for you. Let's imagine that you care for somebody, but the relationship has changed. You still care for them, but you don't like that the relationship has changed. Hi, Kathy. This a certain way. So you've just decided, well, I can't see them because I don't like the way the relationship is now. I can't, I still love them. I still, they're still, but I'm not. It has to be a certain way, or I'm just not going to be there. So we deny ourselves, the experience of that other person. We deny ourselves the opportunity to be there in love with and spend time with them because we're feeling. Often we hang on to things wanting them to be a certain way because we don't want to feel. Isn't that just so true? Or out of fear, we hang on to jobs that we don't like, that aren't fulfilling, out of fear. Or we stay in relationships and keep them in a certain way. Um, we keep them in a certain way because we're afraid of change. We don't. Well, what would it look like if my husband and I slept in different bedrooms? Or whatever. It's so easy to hang on to things and feel some sense of security. I recognized this morning, I woke up early, and things often come in quite early. They're like, oh. And I have been watching the news, and for quite a while. It's like a thing for me. And hi, JR. Hi, honey, love you. It's like a thing for me, and I just decided, you know, I'm gonna let go of that, and just let go of it. We'll see how that goes. But hi, Jilly, welcome this morning. So, where in our lives, where in your life, if you just sit down after this, or even think of it right now, maybe even post one example, where in your life are you holding on to something out of fear? Where are we holding on to something out of fear? Is there a place where, and imagine that when we do hold on to something out of fear, that we contract, and our breath contracts, our whole being contracts. Well, Tracy, you are a feeling being, and that's wonderful. Thank you. I see this. That Tracy says that sometimes she hangs on to men or people. Grateful that I have friends that can love everyone and send love when I can't. Nice. We all do that. I'm working with and it's part of the process. It seems to be, but we can see ourselves when we're in it. It's amazing, I'm working with a young fellow in recovery, and he's um, hanging on to this woman that he's like, oh my gosh, she's the one, and she's very deep in addiction. And so gently I share with him that maybe when she's in the addiction, it's actually hard for her to be there, and isn't it really hard for us all to be present when we're in addiction? And what is it that we're addicted to? And we look around us at, we're addicted, we're almost everything that we do in many ways is out of wanting things to be different, or in fear. There's just so many symptoms of addiction. We here on this morning thing that we do, we talk about addiction in this typical way with substance abuse, but aren't we addicted to concepts and ideas? And we're addicted to, I was thinking this morning a little bit about a simple thing that we got told as a youth and as a child, and our whole concept of ourselves was built around, and I'm going to just say it, Santa and Santa Claus. So, and we were told that we had to be good because Santa knew if we were bad or good, and it was like a conditioning tool, so we've spent our life trying to measure up to some elusive measurement that was set upon us in our childhood, whether it was Santa or God, a Christian idea of God, or many of the religious ideas of God also had us being judged. And so we became addicted to that idea, and have spent our lives trying to be a certain way, trying to be good. Gosh, if I can just be good. and which has so little to do. We're trying then to do something. It has nothing to do with being in the moment. So if we can recognize that we're holding on to this idea that A, we have to be good, or B, that we're not good, that was conditioned into us by Santa, by all kinds of things. I think the only thing that remember the tooth fairy? We were given this idea of the tooth fairy. At least with the tooth fairy, we just had to suffer some pain, and then we got a reward. But many of of those stories were based on us having to earn love, and love. You guys, love is not an outside job. Love is an inside job. Love is now. Love is, this beautiful moment. So, can you think of anything that besides our normal, addictions for drugs and alcohol, and Tracy, that's so cool that you're, 80 days clean and sober. That's so cool. That's so cool, honey. We love you. Everybody that knows you here and loves you, and we're here for you. That's so cool. And it begins to open up. It's like, oh my gosh, we see the beauty of the world. When we're deep in our addiction of whatever it is too, often we can't, we don't, all we can see is what's not working. And we start to, see the world as a beautiful place that's always for us. Imagine if everything was for us only, could never be against us. There was nothing against us. Nothing could happen on the planet that was against us. It was all for our evolution, for our growth, for our enjoyment in each moment. It's beautiful. It's all so perfectly ordered. So perfectly ordered. Gorgeous, gorgeous. So I just want to talk about that. What are we going to let go of? What are we going to surrender today? What are we going to surrender today? For me, it's the news. and watching my mind, it's a never-ending chore for me. My mind has even told me, oh, it's too big a job, you can't do it. But to watch my mind, because it has a story, an ingrained story about me, and the story that my mind has always been not good enough, not smart enough, all kinds of unworthy, and so I cannot change that. I can let it go. I can be aware of it, and I can turn my gaze, if you will, towards my relationship with God, my relationship with this moment. Look at this. In this moment, there's no story of David. There is no story of good enough or bad, not good enough, or right or wrong, or there's just this moment. It's so be here now. Just listen. No story. Just love. Just this beautiful moment. Wow. And so many teachers from forever have been trying to tell us. I pull up a book today, Emmett Fox, Sermon on the Mount. Was a Sermon on the Mount was a story that Jesus supposedly told. It was a beautiful awakening story. And so many teachers have been telling us this, that we are not who we think we are. We are love in each moment. Love is not outside of us. Love is here. So, yeah. Love you, love you, love you. I'm going to read this reading. It's always a gamble. I never know what he's going to say. This kind of started this morning by, we started reading this book in the 1st of May, and it's beautiful. This was, one man's way of trying to help us to see who we are, and that we're flowers, we're free, what's the story about the lilies of the field, that they don't worry, they just be. My garden grows, it just bees. It's just being. The birds sing. My yard, they're all here. So we can be that way in each moment. And practice that and pray for that. I ask sometimes, in my prayer is, God, please help me. God, please help me. And so that, not so that my life will be easy in some way, but so that I grow, that I move into this knowingness of love, this experience of love. And so I'm asking often to show me the big picture, show me this moment. And I've been gifted. And sometimes it's, of course, the battle is only with the mind. Only with the mind. Hi, Lana. Love you, girl. Happy you're here. June 11th, from the 24-Hour Day book. We alcoholics have to believe in some power greater than ourselves. Yes, we have to believe in God. Not to believe in a higher power drives us to atheism. Atheism, it has been said before, is blind faith in the strange proposition that this universe originated in a cipher and aimlessly rushes nowhere. That's out of our big book in the chapter We Agnostics. That's particularly impossible to believe. So we turn to that divine principle in the universe, which we call God. That's his thought for the day. And I just want to, I want to share, because sometimes, we get stuck in this one. And we think, well, many of us, especially if we've had a rough go, we've let go of our idea of God. Maybe when we were a child, we had to go to catechism, or we saw the hypocrisy in our local church, and we said, fuck it, I don't want to have anything to do with that, and so we put that on the shelf, and so I have a little concept of God that is a great door opener, I think, for everybody, and I'd love it if some of you share your concepts of God, but this one is just so easy. In the 12 steps, we ask men and women to believe in power to begin with. You can call them whatever you want. We often call it God because it just makes it easy, although it can be confusing because we have an idea from our adolescence that we've shelved. Often I'll ask men, because I work mostly with men, do you believe in love? And often, always, not often, always, every single time, every single man will say yes. It doesn't matter how rough they are, how angry they are, how desperate they are, how, arrogant they are, because alcoholics can be so friggin' arrogant. They'll say, yes, I believe in love. Love my dog, love my kids, whatever, right? Love my mom. And then I'll ask the question, do you think that love is a power greater than you? And always they'll go, well, yeah. Yeah. And so there we go. Let's have love as our higher power. It's a beautiful place to be. And because concepts of God often keep us from being in this moment. Do you know what I mean? Like concepts of God. Because there are so many. It's so there's just so many concepts of God. But the one, God is love, is like, oh, yes. And I think every religion, shares that. God is love. So, we don't have to put a face on it. We don't have to put an image on it. Because nothing like that can really give it, what it is. It's on God. The idea of God is unexplainable. Is on, we can't even speak about it because there's, we can say a lot of what it isn't, but we can't really say what it is. But we can say love. Anyway, God is love. Try that. You are love. We are love. Love is love. Meditation for the day. Lord, he says, we thank thee for the great gift of peace, that peace which passeth all understanding. Yes, that's what we're, that's the possibility. Thank you, Lord. Thank thee for the great gift of peace that passeth all understanding, that peace that which the world can neither give nor take away, which the world can never give nor take away. That is the peace which only God can give us in the midst of a restless world and surrounded by trouble and difficulty. So it doesn't matter how rough the seas, we can sit quiet in that peace. To know that peace is to have received the stamp of the kingdom of God. When you have earned that peace, you are fit to judge between truth and false. You're fit to judge between truth and false values, between the values of the kingdom of God and the values of all the world has to offer. don't know if I like the word judge, but discern. I like the word discern. I think that as we grow in this peace, as we grow in this connection, this awareness of love, we do have a discernment, a new discernment that comes in. And we see the difference between things of the world, things of the material, all the stuff that we were told we had to do, to pursue. And we see the difference between all of that and this moment, which is totally full and totally empty, totally full and totally empty, and totally full of, full of what? Love, peace. Beautiful. Yes. Prayer for the day. I pray that today I may have inner peace. I pray that today I may be at peace with myself. And the myself that they're talking about, I believe, is the peace with this idea of us. Who are you? Who are you? If you really ask the question, if you really, really ask the question, who am I? And, you could write 20 pages of who we are as the actor, who we are as the player in the game. But is that really who we are? Are we just, are we a mother? Of course we did mothering. Are we a sister? Yes, we do sistering and we still do all of those things, but that's not really who we are. So to discern is then we can surrender and then drop away and drop away and drop away and let these things go and become this moment, become aware of and conscious of and live in this moment. Anyway, that's me today. That's exciting to be here now. And I just had realized, the thought came in, oh, David, you've talked a long time. And so if you have any questions, post them. I'd love to, if this is really easy, then do it. Be it. Feel into it. If it's not, if you have how do I do this, David? How do I find that peace? How do I set myself free? If you have those kind of questions, let's talk about it. Okay. Love you guys so much. And I think next Sunday, not this one coming, but next Sunday, we're going to have a little social here at the house. Hopefully it's a beautiful day, and we've got a lot of space, so people can be indoors and outdoors, and we can see each other again and spend time together. And so next Sunday, what would that be? Would that be the 21st? I think it would be the 21st of June. That would be the longest day of the year, wouldn't it? 21st of June. Let's do it. So next Sunday, we're going to have a little get-together. If folks want to wear masks, they can. And, we can, there's just lots of room. I have quite a big yard, and we'll have a little kind of a brunch buffet. So, yeah, Sunday the 21st. That's it. Okay, love you guys. Hanging with like-minded people is helpful. And, yeah. Thanks, Toby. Love you too. Okay. Thank you. Thanks. Is it Father's Day? Great. Next Sunday, James says it's Father's Day. Beautiful. How appropriate. Bring your kids. So beautiful. Yes. And remember, let's not hold on to the concept of Father, Son, anything too tightly. Nothing too tightly. Hey, Jason, thanks for popping in. You'll have to listen to this. It was all for you. Love you so much, brother. Love you lots. Okay, really, there's tons here for you. It just came through today. Okay, bye.